A website that takes 4 seconds to load loses 78% more customers than a website that loads in just 1 second. And yet, in a study of over 4 billion websites, the average site takes over 8 seconds to load on mobile. Luckily, if you want a fast website, you don't have to be a tech genius or shell out thousands of dollars. There are some really dead simple ways to speed up your website that are either free or extremely low cost. So in this video, I'm going to show you 7 of the easiest ways you can get a fast website today. You see, most websites are static. That just means that when someone visits your site, your hosting company finds a file on their servers that has your website, and they'll stream it to your visitor's computer. Now, just like any download, the smaller the file, the faster it goes. And ideally, a fast web page is under 2 megabytes. But not every file is created equal. For example, the entire Odyssey of Homer is about 1 megabyte, whereas this single image of a dog in a bow tie at the piano is almost 6 times larger. And this video alone is going to be about 200 times larger than that single photo. So how is it then that you're able to watch this video at all? Well, YouTube employs many of the tricks that I'm about to show you today, but the 2 most basic are compression and reformatting. Let's go back to our funny example image because you're likely to have many images on your own website. And if you were to just upload them from your phone or your computer, these images are going to take up a lot of space. This image right now is an uncompressed PNG, which would take up about 5.9 megabytes of space on your server. Which means that if we want a website under 2 megabytes, we wouldn't be able to use this image at all. That's where compression and reformatting come into play. First, this image is huge. It's almost 6,000 pixels wide and 4,000 pixels tall. Unless you're designing a Times Square ad, you don't need an image this big. Even huge 4K monitors would only be able to fit half this image on their screen. So the first way we can reduce the size is to simply make it smaller. But that's not the only thing we can do. Right now our image is lossless, meaning every single data point of every single pixel is perfectly preserved. This is fantastic for photo editing, but it's not necessary for the web. For example, the shadow cast on the background means that there are thousands of shades of white on this wall. You can see if I use a color picker that each pixel has a unique color code. We don't need to preserve all those details for the web. By combining nearby colors and then saving those combinations as groups, we dramatically reduce the file size. This is called lossy compression, and it can reduce the file size of images by 50 to 90%. And compression is not even the only thing we can do. We can also reformat our photo in a file format better suited for the web. PNGs tend to be pretty big. A file format like WebP or AVIF is much smaller. If you've ever downloaded an image from Google and the extension was WebP, this is why. Because through resizing and compression, we can get images that are 98% smaller than the original and look almost identical. Now, if you want to do this manually, you can use a tool like Optimal or Squoosh, maybe Squash, I don't know how it's pronounced. But if you've got a lot of images, you might want to use an automatic compression tool like Exactly WW Optimizer, which I know rolls off the tongue beautifully, or ShortPixel. You can get free compression on about 100 images per month, which is enough for most business websites. If you're using a tool like Framer or Webflow, they'll typically do some of this compression for you automatically, but you'll always get the best results doing it yourself. So the first method was all about reducing file size. This second method is all about redistributing how that file is loaded. You see, in animation, you don't need to animate anything that's outside of the frame. As soon as something's out of view, we don't have to worry about animating it anymore. Well, the same thing is true for websites. When you load up a website for the first time, you get the hero section. That's the first section of a website before you scroll. All the visitor cares about is that that section loads quickly. Instead of trying to load the whole website at the same time, we should stagger the loading so we only load what the visitor needs to see. This is called lazy loading, and it makes your website appear 200 to 300% faster, even with the exact same file size. In HTML, all you have to do is use the loading lazy attribute on an image, video, or embed. If you're using a no-code tool like Webflow, Framer, or WordPress, look for a lazy loading option or use a plugin. The third method for speeding up your website is called minification. When we're coding our websites, or even if we're using a no-code tool, we want our code to be comprehensible. A developer should be able to look at a website's code and understand the structure and the nature of it. But beautiful code comes at a cost. All this white space and easy-to-read names take up more space. But the browser doesn't need all that to render our website. Programmers need it to be able to read the code. So when we render it, we can convert that code into tightly packed, illegible bundles that save space. When we minify the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, we usually speed up our website by about 30%. Now, tools like Webflow, Framer, or WordPress all offer easy ways to minify your code, and if you look up your software tool plus minify, you'll get the exact step-by-step instructions for each tool. Finally, the easiest way to reduce the file size of your website is to simply have less on it. Now, that doesn't mean you get rid of content or essential pages, but after personally auditing dozens of small business websites, I've yet to find a single site without at least a little bit of bloat. Usually that's plugins, themes, scripts, apps, background processes that aren't being used anymore but still take up resources. So go through your website and deactivate whatever you aren't using. Okay, so those were 4 methods for speeding up your website by reducing or redistributing the file size. Now I want to share 3 methods for speeding up your website by optimizing your hosting. The first way we can speed up our website is by getting our servers physically closer to the visitor. Every website is hosted on a server, and where those servers are determines how fast your website loads. Now, to get your website physically closer to your visitor, you can use something called a CDN or Content Delivery Network. A CDN basically shares a copy of your website across global servers so that visitors always get a copy that's local to them. This is usually a paid option with most hosting providers, but it's almost always very low cost. For example, on Hostinger, the platform I use to host DesignSpo, it's an extra 80 cents per month. But using a CDN can help your website load up to twice as fast, so in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. The next way to speed up your website with your hosting platform is through object caching. Basically, every time you load your website, you have to do a lot of math and pull data from a lot of places. For example, your server has to find where a particular image is stored and then pull it up. But that takes time and leads to longer load speeds. Instead, you can cache these computations. Caching just means to do something once and then save the result. So if you have an equation that says 2 plus 2 equals 4, you can just save 4. You don't have to run the equation every time someone loads your website. Now, your website might be doing tens of thousands of these equations per second, so object caching can dramatically increase your load speed. The best part is that on most hosting platforms, this is a one-click option. So in Hostinger, all you have to do is click object caching and your website load speed gets basically doubled. Finally, the last way to speed up your website is using a browser cache. This stores a copy of your website directly on a visitor's browser, so the next time they visit your website, the browser can fetch the local copy directly. Since local memory is usually about 10 times faster than the average internet connection, your website is going to load super quickly. Now, to enable browser caching as well as object caching, image optimization, minifying, lazy load, and everything else we talked about in this video in just a single click, you can use the Lightspeed cache option inside of Hostinger. All you have to do is click Lightspeed and your website starts running super fast. Now, this is only an option for WordPress sites, so it'll only work for about 40% of the internet, but if you have a WordPress website and you want to automatically speed it up, you can check out Lightspeed. Lightspeed's not sponsored, Hostinger's not sponsored, they're just what I personally use to develop websites. But if you do want to support the channel and you want to get free design lessons sent to your inbox every week, then check out the DesignSpo newsletter in the description below. Every week, I'll send you 5 design lessons from the best websites on the internet, and you'll also get exclusive discounts on training, courses, and coaching. So click the first link in the description below to sign up. But that's all for this video. If you want to learn even more about web design, you can check out this video I made on my complete web design process and subscribe for more web design lessons.